Hi, welcome back for another video and hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. Now today I want to talk about, will XRP overtake Bitcoin? Now, of course the most popular big happenings in the crypto world in the last 24 hours is the retail chain Kroger, right? Or Kroger, Kroger. They have made news because they are stopped accepting Visa. They are basically banning customers to use Visa in their supermarkets. And Anthony Pompliano have actually stepped up immediately and offered to say in his tweet that anyone know the management of Kroger and he can immediately link up Lightning team so that Kroger can accept Bitcoin via Lightning Network. And not long after, just few hours after that, there's a product manager in Kroger linking up them, and Anthony Pompliano just had a meeting or call with the management there, and he asked us to stay tuned for the development coming up. Now, and of course, not long after that, there's a lot of XRP very strong supporters writing in and said that, why not consider XRP? XRP is so much better than Bitcoin. So in that note, right, I just want to take that train of thought and then apply it to the major crypto exchanges, Wall Street linked, many of them Wall Street linked, and see how and whether take this angle of whether the major Wall Street upcoming crypto exchanges, will they support or will they list XRP? And then in that regard, link back to the question of, will XRP overtake Bitcoin as the top cryptocurrency today? Yeah. Now, first, so let's look at this chart, and this is based on my research, right? And of course, if you know of any more crypto exchanges that are offering futures exchange of cryptocurrencies, do let me know, then I can update this chart. But this is I believe to be quite comprehensive based on my research. Yeah, so let's look at, let me just quickly walk you through first, how do you read this chart. So on the first column on the left is actually the crypto exchanges that offer one type or another futures, crypto futures, right? Then the next 5 columns under token support or will support is basically which are the coins or which are the cryptocurrencies that the exchange already said that they will list, they will support, or they already actually supported. Then the next, so moving on to the right, you have the investment type, which is either it is spot, futures, or options. Now the last column called timeline. So when was it launched? When did they start offer the futures product? Now, the first we have Vontobel. Vontobel is based in Switzerland, and they already have started offering cash futures for Bitcoin as early as November 2017. And then only is actually followed by CBOE and CME in the US, right? Although probably not many people know about the Switzerland one, because definitely the US one got more press and more attention, and just 1 month after that it was launched. Now, take note that it is just a cash futures. Later, I will talk about what's the cash and what's the difference between cash futures and physical futures. Next, right, we have BACT, the very famous BACT. And if you are new to crypto, BACT is owned by New York Stock Exchange owner, which is ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. So as you know, New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, is the largest stock exchange in the world, right? So they are, and their owner, ICE, is a very, very, again, prominent people, and of course CEO or founder Jeff Sprecher is the one instrumental in innovating the trading, the way the traditional trade or traditional equity trade are undertaken. Previously, it was like outcry, people shouting across different floors to place orders, to today's automated, everything computerized trading model. Yeah, and Jeff Sprecher is the innovative guy who can see what is the incoming trend, and now he is launching BACT. BACT, not only that, BACT also has managed to raise a lot of funding, right? Here they have raised 182.5 million to date from very prominent names, including Asia's richest man, Mr. Li Ka-shing. So very, very prominent. And today they only have they are very good in their information disclosure, but they only have disclosed that they will be launching Bitcoin futures. But what is so different about this is, what is so unique is that it is a physical delivery future. That means at the point of expiration of the futures contract, right? It will be the buyer or the seller have to actually exchange the physical Bitcoin. That means for people to trade on BACT, and it mostly is used as a hedging solutions, they will need the physical Bitcoin, and that is very important then to support the price of Bitcoin and whatever other cryptocurrencies that they will be trading. Now, for Vontobel, CBOE, and CME, because it is a cash futures, they don't need, the people who trade these cash futures, they don't need to buy any of the underlying real Bitcoin. So the prices of Bitcoin, a lot of the times, because a lot of the traders are actually betting that the market will go down, the prices will go down, hence, right, this futures product, cash futures products, are one of the reasons that many have blamed for the bear market last year as well. So, but now this year is all about physical delivery. So very unique, much more different and more resilient product than cash futures. And but they already plan to be launched in, actually since November last year, then pushed to December, and then now it was then pushed to January 24th, and then now it's just said it's early 2019, because the roadblock was that they were still waiting for government approval, and also because there was a government shutdown, so that has been delayed. Now, next, we have ArisX. Now, ArisX is a new crypto exchange, but they have also very strong backers behind them, including TD Ameritrade, one of the top stockbrokers in US and the world. And they have 11 million customers who are, captive audience to actually trade this product. Now, in their website, they have actually stated that they will support 4 products, and that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. Yeah. And they said already that they are going to start offering spot trading of, they didn't say which one first, but spot trading starting Q2 this year, and then in first half of 2019 that they will be offering physical futures. Then in the future, then they will only offer options. Yeah. Now, so on ArisX, right, their futures, they didn't exactly say that their futures is physical, but then they did say that it's going to be very similar to BACT, and that just means that it is a physical. So again, all these players coming on board, because they are so mainstream Wall Street names, right? Definitely they will a lot of credibility, and they can attract institutions who want to hold Bitcoin. And because if they want to hold Bitcoin, then they need a hedging solution. And these companies, this BACT, ArisX, Nasdaq, will be offering the avenue for them to hedge, and they will have much more confidence, right? Next, we have Nasdaq. Now, Nasdaq is a very unique case where, although they have said that they want to get into crypto futures, right, in as early as Q1 2019, and of course to date they still haven't offered, so we were only waiting for this month. Hopefully this month a lot of things will happen, BACT, and hopefully Nasdaq will be launching their futures, and that will be very good news. Yeah. Now, Nasdaq, though, on this is very key, is then linking back to the XRP point. Why? Because Nasdaq did say that they are going to list top 5 to 7 tokens or cryptocurrencies by market cap. At that point, right, I mean, of course, it can vary, depends on which point you take. If you take end of 2017 or even early 2018, the top 5 to 7 coins differ from today, right? Differ slightly. Now, but XRP, of course, is there, and they have also specifically said, because there was, I think it was AMB Journal that actually went to check on Nasdaq and confirm it with XRP that, whether they will list XRP or not, given that it is, that it is a still questionable status of whether it will be regarded as securities, and that will have a lot of issues. Then the exchange will need to have a lot of requirements just to list them. And as you know, Coinbase also just recently listed XRP because of this concerns of whether it is considered as securities or not. So Nasdaq has then, that was in end last year, they have already confirmed to AMB Journal that they will list XRP. They say they are not really concerned about whether it is considered a security or not. They are more concerned about the scale. That means in terms of the size, in terms of the market cap, is it liquid, right? Is there enough people demanding, trading it? That is why they looked at market cap and trading volume. Excuse me. And of course, XRP they also mentioned that another reason, so one is a very numbers driven, fact driven reason. The other one, they said because the management team in XRP is very professional, they're always ready to, answer any questions that Nasdaq will have. So that's why they are very supportive in listing Nasdaq, and that is very good news. Now, for a major exchange like this to list XRP, that is really good news. It is definitely much better than listing on Binance, on Coinbase, right? Because, or even Gemini, because Coinbase, Binance, and Gemini are still really it is still relatively new kids on the block versus the old dogs, right? Like Bakkt, ArisX, Nasdaq, who have very strong backers behind them, yeah? And they are all Wall Street names. They have been like ICE, Nasdaq, TD Ameritrade. They existed hundreds of years, so a lot of credibility. And also, not only that, most importantly, they have their own captive institutional clients that they can already tap into, whom a lot of trust have already been built through the years with, ICE, NYSE, Nasdaq, and TD Ameritrade. So of course, if institutions have a choice, no doubt they will definitely choose Bakkt, ArisX, Nasdaq versus Coinbase, Binance, or Gemini. Yeah. So yes. So the thing is then, as long as Bakkt, ArisX also list XRP, then definitely XRP will then be, have a definitely much higher chance to compete almost on par with Ethereum and Bitcoin, yeah. But of course, then there are other reasons like what are the use cases. But to date, XRP seems to be still positioned much more to being the settlement network or the coin to facilitate banking transfers. That means corporate and banking institutions, yeah. That seems to be their positioning from the beginning and also to date, because their news has always been to say they have, bring on 200 bank partners, right? They have always cited those kind of reasons, and Ethereum is more linked to smart contracts, right? More killer applications built on top of them. That is good, like Augur, like MakerDAO, right? And Bitcoin has always been more linked to being money of the people. So that's why it is definitely so it's definitely more related to day-to-day usage by everyday consumers. So that's why it also makes sense for Kroger or Walmart, right, equivalent, to link themselves and accept Bitcoin. Yeah. So I believe that there is a role to play. There is a niche for every coin out there. I believe I consider myself not a Bitcoin maximalist. I do see a world where there will be a top few coins surviving. Yeah, but I don't think there's many of them, but I still see that it is better to be niche. Yeah, I believe the market is huge. Remember, there's 7.7 billion people, and we are still at probably 35 million to 40 million people having exposure to crypto. So very early days still. Now, then next, Eurex. Eurex is again a very major crypto exchange in Germany. They are the 7th largest derivative exchange in the world. They already have announced, this was just in February 22nd this year, that they are going to offer futures contract in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So then again, very good news for XRP, because this is definitely confirmed, and this is Europe based, right? That means targeting Europe market. Again, early 2019 is the timeline. Again, you're not sure, it could be March this month or it could be in Q2, right? Though also I'm not sure, they don't give any detail whether it is a physical or cash. I hope it is a physical, because then it will be much better. Having said all that, moving on from the West, we have also CoinFlex, which is very Asia focused. They already launched their Bitcoin futures, which is a physical futures, in February 2019. They are headquartered in Hong Kong. The company was formerly CoinFloor, which is one of the largest and oldest Bitcoin exchange in UK. So they are now focusing on the Asia markets, right? And they already mentioned that they will in the future launch futures, physical futures as well for Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash. And also now they offer spot trading. So the thing is, when more and more, especially the bigger name ones, the backed onwards, right? Back Xrp, Nasdaq, and CoinFlex, if they confirm are listing XRP on their exchange, right? But that will take some time. I think some of them may want to be safe. They want to play it safe, and they want to wait for clearer regulations first from the SEC before making a clear decision. But Nasdaq has openly said, they are fine. They are cool to list based on just market cap and scale alone. It really depends on their strategy. For example, Morgan Creek, right? Morgan Creek is a crypto fund. They have their own crypto fund. They manage it on behalf of their customers. Their fund, they have set out the rules before they, go out and secure their customers. Their rules is that they are looking at top coins, but they also have a rule that the coin has to be liquid enough. That means that a certain percentage has to be in the open market, not held by the owner, and that is why XRP is not in their holdings. But this is not because they have something against XRP. It's because they have already the rule based beforehand, before they set their investment decision, right? So, and they rebalanced it very frequently. So yes, so in the future, when XRP is more liquid, when the founders, because I know the founders also not just hoarding the coins, they are giving out for if important use cases, they actually do give out the coins, right? So then at some point, if it became liquid enough, then it will be added into their fund as well. So I'm just saying, every professional firm out there, they will have their own decision or strategies to say what assets to include. Most of the time, it is definitely by market cap, but there are also other rules like, is it liquid enough? That is also one major consideration, right? Yeah. So yes, so now if you looked at it, right, in December 2017, why Bitcoin Cash are in there? Because they're the number 4 largest coin, and all this decision, they must have thought about it already way earlier, before they actually launched the product. So it wasn't just, a 6 months consideration. It must be like 1 year or 2 years before this that they have already thought about it. And then that's why Bitcoin is always there, because it's the most established, it has the most longest history, and that is definitely cannot be this point of 10 years history. And because of that, it is definitely the strongest chain. It has the highest security. This fact cannot be overtaken by anyone, including XRP. This is just a fact, right? But XRP, of course, they can compete on other grounds, So, and if you look at it, so the latest snapshot is that EOS is up there at number 4, right? Whereas Cardano is not in the top 10 anymore, but you have Tron in the top 10. Binance Coins is in the top 10. So, it is plausible at some point, if the market is really mature enough, next 5 years perhaps, that you will likely see BAX, Xrp, Nasdaq, Eurex listing, the top coins. It can be top 10 or it can be top 20 even. It depends on how mature the market is, but definitely they most likely will start off with just the top 3 first, or top 5, right? Then slowly going down the list to maybe top 10. But that is no guarantee, but definitely XRP, right? Because given it is always in the top 2 or top 3, definitely very high chance to be included. So the thing is, then when SEC became very clear on the regulations, that it is not a security, right? After all, XRP already recently had a win, because the ruling will be happening in federal court, which is generally deemed more fair. So let's hope, right, and that it will be deemed favorably in their favor. Then you will see then more exchanges and more professional exchanges like BAC, Xrp, Nasdaq definitely open to listing them. But regardless, I do see that, so what's the conclusion here? So will XRP overtake Bitcoin? At this point in time, I would say No, right? Just based on all the facts that exist today and the strong community that Bitcoin has. Of course, I'm sure XRP is also a very strong community, but I do see the XRP positioning is still as a coin to be used by corporates, by institutions. Yeah. So yes, it's just I do. It's just different role, playing different role. Everyone can still win. It's just that I think there's a niche there as well. That's my take. But of course, in the future, who knows, right? It might flip. Yeah, we don't know that. At least at this point, that's my opinion. So yes, and the other last point I want to make is I hope with this one chart can give you some quick status update of what are the current status of the various major exchanges offering futures, Bitcoin futures, crypto, that is very important for institutionalization. Yeah, so the soonest any one of them, backed ErisX or Nasdaq or UX, offer their offerings, launching it officially, then hopefully the market will have a bump, right? Yes, and yes, we're just looking forward to that, and hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, please subscribe, please leave a like, and please share this around. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and truly appreciate your support. Thank you.